Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Andrew, and today we're going to be going over TryHackMe's Advent of Cyber Day 11 beginning Wi-Fi hacking tutorial. Great video today done by a Unix guy, so kudos. I thought that was a great video to fun and follow along with. And let's go ahead and get started on our day 11 story. So as we continue our story with the glitch and McSkitty, it looks like they're much awaiting the sockmas of Wareville, which is just days away. Mayor Mauer's malicious intents are getting knocked down one by one, but there's still much more to do. McSkitty took a thoughtful breath. Mayor can still find his way in. The glitch smiles confidently. I think I know the last technique he relies on to get into the network. McSkitty stands up from her chair with a surge of excitement. Let me guess, it's a notorious way of getting into a network, a Wi-Fi attack. Glitch nods exactly. Let's get one step ahead of the mayor. So today's learning objectives we're going to be going over is understanding what Wi-Fi is, explore the importance of it for an organization, learn the difference of different Wi-Fi attacks, and learn about WPA and WPA2 cracking attacks. So connection to the machines, as always, TryHackMe does a great job providing this via through VM, attack box, and credentials provided. Make sure before you start your challenges today, we are going to be going into glitches SSH connection. So if you do not do that, you'll be seeing a root rather than glitch. So ensure you SSH glitch at his IP here with his password that is provided. So what is Wi-Fi? The seamless connection that happens between our phones, Bluetooth devices, maybe through Apple Play tablets that you need to connect to the internet and you're not wanting to plug into a router. And this can all be done via through magic, some would say. No, it's not magic. It's simply when we get our Wi-Fi connections or Wi-Fi networks around us, this list comprises of access points, often our routers that broadcast that Wi-Fi signal with a unique SSID, which is your network name. You can then connect any of these if you know the correct password, also known as the pre-shared key PSK. Once you've successfully connected to a network via Wi-Fi, you are then be assigned an IP address inside the network, which will uniquely identify you and help you communicate with other devices, just like being a member of a family assigned with a name and a whole family of trusts. So we go continuously down here, and we're going to be going over Wi-Fi the pivotal role in organizations of why and how it could be important. We then bring into some of the aspects of the attacks of way we can attack Wi-Fi via through being done by an evil twin, rogue access point, WPS attack, or WPA, WPA2 cracking attack. So we explain, and they do a great little demonstration here of what a WPA, WPA2 cracking is. And it's additionally us intercepting the four-way handshake in order to get the PKI, or the PSK. So the router sends the challenge, the client responds with an encrypted information, the router verifies and sends a confirmation, and then the final check and connection is established. So what we're going to be trying to do is we're going to try to capture that four-way handshake and provide us with the information. And with the captured handshake data, we're eventually going to crack that and get the PSK, which will be the password. So we're going to run some basic commands, and if you follow along here with the guide, I'm going to jump in about halfway through to kind of show you where I kind of made my way to it to kind of show you guys what's happening. I've noticed as I tried to do this after I've already done it, I've had to kind of open and close the machine multiple times. So fun fact, if you're trying to replicate it, sometimes it might kind of cause some issues. But here's what we can do. So excellent, there we go. So we run our IWDev. This is going to show you some basic information on the device's interface for your WLAN 2. Shows you your address, the type, shows if it's managed. Now we would like to scan for nearby Wi-Fi networks using our WLAN 2 device. So we throw in the sudo iw dev WLAN2 scan, and this might show us some additional networks and such around in the area. Specific the Wi-Fi devices you want to work with, and scan tells IW to scan the area for available Wi-Fi networks. There's a lot of information to dissect here, but as we see, the most important details are going to be, I think, our BSSID and our SSID. So specifically for this, we see that our BSSID is the 02 semicolon 00 00 00 00 00 00, and our SSID is the mal m underscore app. Respectively, since the SSID is shown, this means the device is advertising a network name. So as you continue to read, you'll see that this is being the group in Pairware ciphers, or CCMP. That is a counter mode with cipher blockchain messaging authentication code. And the authentication suite, such value inside the RSN is PSK, indicating that this is a WPA2 personal network. So our next step is going to be setting up our wire this device into monitor mode. So you'll run these commands, the sudo IP link set dev wlan2 down. You'll then drop that into your top command line, your sudo iwdev wlan2 setup type monitor, and then now you want to bring that back up. So once this is done, you can open up a second terminal because we're just about at that point. But if you go ahead and run your sudo iwdev wlan2 information again, we should be seeing this all starting to match what we just set up. Now, don't forget, when you open up your second terminal, you'll need to re-SSH in as the glitch, or you're going to be seeing yourself as root. So just keep that in mind, and then we're going to go ahead and run our sudo air dump ng to get us some basic information to show that we have a BSS ID of our 02 with our all zeros. We see a power, we see the beacon information, we see what channel we're off of, cipher CCMP, and then our ESS ID is still that malware m underscore MP AP. So now this is great, but we're actually going to close this session now. We're going to rerun the command specifically targeting channel 6 with our BSS ID. So we'll grab this sudo command right here within our command line, and we're going to drop that here in this top box. And as you can see, mine's already been running as I'm at over almost 10,000 beacons. So we're almost there. So as that's still running, you're going to see some information, and what's going to happen is what we're running this for is we're looking for any other connections that could already be on this BSS ID. So when you run that, you'll give it probably about maybe 50 seconds to a minute, and you should see this here on this line right down here kind of pop up showing your BSS ID and then station. The station is showing an additional device that is connected to that access point, and this is the connection that we will be attacking. So now let's set up our next steps. So we already know that we have our BSS ID and we do have a device that is connected to it. So what we can now do is we're going to be running this sudo command right here, which is going to be disconnecting or deauthenticating that already attached device. And we're forcing it to get off the Wi-Fi and then reconnect. But when we're doing this, we're going to be intercepting that data. So once we run this command, you should see on the top right of your top box let me see if it has the exact verbiage. The tag 0 flag indicates we are using the deauthentication attack. The one value is the number of deauthents we want to send. Now, if we look at the back on our first box, we should see the WPA handshake shown on the top right of our output as WPA handshake all quad 02, then all of our zeros. All this information is being saved into our output files. So now that that's done, we now are going to be sending off our rocku.txt, which, fun fact I found a few days ago, if you don't know where the rocku.txt file comes from, rocku used to be, I guess, a site that was around back in the day, and some hackers decided they were able to find all the passwords for the user accounts on the site, and they were stored in plain text under a file called rocku.users, and it was a txt file. So thus the kind of phrase of using rocku.txt is because it was a compromised user list with username and passwords. That is where the rocku.txt kind of word list kind of comes from. Thought that was kind of neat. So as we run our sudo aircrack ng, it's going to do its thing, look for some things to pack, see if we can actually solve our password that may or may not be inside that list. And lo and behold, the key was found, and we saw that it is fluffy/champ24. So after running your sudo aircrack command, you should be seeing a screen like this. As you can see, it says it's redacted on our terminal screen because it's wanting you to actually run your sudo aircrack to get your rocku.txt to figure out if it can crack that password and get it. Now, once that's done, you're simply going to go down here into your WPA passphrase malware and copy this. Your enter PSK here is literally going to be your fluffy/champ24. You'll then run the sudo WPA supplicant command, which if you see, you're seeing an RF kill cannot get WinFi information. You might see this error. We can ignore it. Luckily, TryHackMe told us that because I immediately got that error. And I'm like, okay, did I do this wrong? You didn't. So, but it says you'll give it about 10 seconds, and then you should be able to do our iwdev, and we should see our new address and other information we're looking for. Now, I went ahead and I also catted out my config file because I want to still make sure I'm seeing my SSID is malware m app. My PSK that I now have is Fluffy Champ. And we have our PSK, I want to say it's the hash value right there as well. So there we can see once we do our IWDev, we have our WDev matching. We have in IF index 5. We're good. And congrats, it looks like we did it. We've solved the room. So let's move down to some of our questions we had that we can kind of get these knocked out as well. So what is BSSID on our wireless interface? As we saw that before, when we first jumped on, we had our 02 and then our ending, our second octet over here is 02. What was our SSID and the BSSID of the access point? So we saw that our SSID was malware m underscore AP. And then initially when we looked on our BSSID, we saw that it was 02, all zeros. So once the BSSID was on the wireless interface, and then we saw something was connected, what was already connected to the access point? We saw 02, and then we saw our BSSID ending in that 01 on that second to last box. Now, once we actually did our WPA cracking attack, if we found out and discovered what the PSK was, we did fluffy/champ24. And if you enjoyed the task today, feel free to check out the network module at the end. So, hey, great job, everybody. Very fun room today with some Wi-Fi cracking. So if you've never done this before, congrats. And yeah, if you've made it this far in the video, I appreciate it. Drop me a like, comment, subscribe. What was your favorite part of this challenge today? Drop it in the comments. And I will catch you guys on the next day of Advent of Cyber. Keep hacking.